What was that? What?
Bayonetta video.
Show me. Let me see. You can barely see it, but good.
I love you.
Good. You're welcome. No. No, no, no. No, no.
During my youth, I would always partake in video games throughout the summer. While all of you were playing soccer and football in the streets and in your backyards, I was studying how to cheese my way through the Get the Seal at the Slums in Jak 2 through various methods. In other words, I didn't touch grass. In better words, I of course like playing video games when I get the chance. I've slowly been having less and less time for that, at least for games I really want to get into. When I play a game, if I'm really into almost everything about it, I just don't want to play it, beat it once or twice, and not touch it ever again. No. I want to try and master it to some degree. I want to understand what was put into the game, how that was made, what influence was used to create this, why does this exist. I want to know everything about it, and get into the series as much as possible. And the first time I had this outlook was with the Ratchet & Clank series. I played all of the PS2 games within the span of spring and summer, and jumped into the Future series as soon as I could. Heck, Crack in Time was the first PlayStation 3 game I played on a cool Christmas morning. Then almost a decade passed and I ended up getting into the Persona series, and that was fun. I've given my thoughts on 5 at least. Then the year after, I tried mixing it up by having a handful of games I've always wanted to play, and picked up these 4. Alice in Wonderland Madness Returns, Catherine, Metal Gear Revengeance, and Bayonetta. And quite frankly, I didn't get into the first 3 as much as I wanted. To quickly summarize my thoughts in a terse format for the games, it would be Alice was a little bit too clunky and slow, Catherine's climbing puzzles made me slam my controller in my forehead, giving me a cut, and I tried playing the one Metal Gear game that doesn't have a focus on stealth, like a stealth game like the prior installments. I was being a bit stupid when playing, and I guess I had too much of high expectations for all the games to be absolute masterpieces by my standards, which honestly isn't too high, but still. I kept falling out of them. However, I played Bayonetta. Something just immediately clicked with me. The gameplay, being able to absolutely pure platinum combo, beat the shit out of angels, never got old or boring for me. The jazzy and right in your face type music is always there when beating the flesh off of said angels. The numerous weapons and combinations you can use when dealing with your enemies, and the overtly sexual style used to perfection for Bayonetta and her character. So perfect that it pisses off every other game journalist in a 300,000 mile radius. This game is just amazing. However, it's not perfect. Because if there's anything that's kind of lacking for Bayonetta, it's the story, honestly. It's not awful, but does leave you confused every now and then, and don't really take the time to explain it properly without it being a fat-ass narrative dump or convoluted in the first place. But to be blunt without lighting one, the story always gave me the impression for me to just leave it in the back of my mind as I'm doing everything else, as I mentioned before. I loved this game instantly as I was playing it, but one thing that slowly got to me was realizing that I suck. And not even that I suck dick, so it would be kind of okay. I was just bad, but didn't really figure that out for a while. I kept getting stone trophies at the end of each chapter I was going through for my first few times. I thought, oh cool, Enzo, I love him already. He's dumb, that's it, awesome. But then noticed that stone was the lowest rank you can get, and that kind of hit my pride a bit, and didn't think too much of it at first. Then it started getting to me. Why is the ranking system so harsh? Why are the enemies so aggressive later on? Why do they sucker punch me the goddamn second they're introduced? Where in the flying feathered fuck do I go? Why do I have to fight Jean again? These fucking quick time events! I was about to give up in a way, but I couldn't go out like that. I couldn't. That's a bitch move. I had a blast in the earlier stages, so what happened? I wanted to figure out why. However, instead of me just complaining to myself about how the game demands me to get good and I refuse, well, for once, I did just that. I got good. I learned how to play the game, and I mean play the game. By the time I actually finished the story, I had over 65 hours from playing. The story itself is like 8, 9 hours-ish, but I accumulated that time because I put time into playing. I just kept playing chapters 1 through 9 over and over and over. I started to learn how angels attacked. They're very telegraphed, especially from the affinities and beloved angels. Simultaneously, I was learning how to properly move. I didn't want to dodge with the mentality of, oh no, the enemy is about to hit me, better move out the way, herp but derp derp. It should be, I'm going to dodge so I can activate witch time to beat your ass like I'm your mother when you disobeyed me. I wanted to dodge from getting better and having sharper reflexes and precise timing, and was already doing better in every other verse with that in mind. I also learned what combos are best for what, as opposed to just mashing the buttons and thinking, oh, that one looks cool, let me just keep doing it repeatedly without trying to get better myself. I figured out that, right, you can hold the buttons down to expand the combos and deal just a little bit more damage, and then I learned about the unparalleled wall that separates someone who's just button mashing to some degree and someone who knows dodge offset. The skill of being able to constantly dodge while keeping your combo going without having to start over and to break the flow of battle. The game itself doesn't really outright tell you about this mechanic, it's just something you realize on your own either by playing non-stop, by accident, or from the internet. Learning it at first does seem sort of tricky. The way I like to think about it is through a sense of rhythm. There's a bit of rhythm when it comes to being able to perform it anytime, anywhere, from any combo, and for any enemy. Once you get it down, it's an incredible feeling. It's honestly a core part of understanding on how to properly fight every battle. And that's why I think the Angels of Grace and Glory are a perfect challenge when trying to get better at the game overall. The way they're programmed to fight is quite frankly a big reason why I'm even making this video. They're what I like to classify as the first real enemies of the game. The first time you meet them is in Chapter 5, and by that point, you've fought in smaller class angels that have long range, short range weapons, and sure, you'll meet the occasional giants and even flame ones where you can't even touch them outside of witch time. But they don't really pose too much of a threat. Again, their attacks are extremely telegraphed. You can't tell me that you're not going to dodge when the giant monster is taking a big step forward or so and going to swing his giant ass axe. Like, why wouldn't you move? Same with the infinities. Most of them, for most of the part, have a long wind-up animation before they hit you, and it's bright and glowing. It's really nothing to worry about, even if it is your very first time playing. But then you get to Chapter 5. First going through the quickest warm-up verse, walk a few steps, then you face off against Grace and Glory. These guys will fuck you up 10 ways to Sunday and back if you don't do anything I've said before. Both of these fuckers will fight you because they know how you would play initially. One of them gets right up in your face and you instantly think, he's gonna hit me. But he didn't. He just jumped back instead. A little perplexing, but it's fine, it's fine. Then he jumps at you again already, and so you think, oh, now he's definitely gonna hit me. So you dodge, but he still didn't hit. That's twice now. Turns out that he knew that you would do that, and by the split second that you're out of your dodge frames, they take advantage of that. And it's not just, oh, he's gonna hit me and move on. Nah, buddy, this time you're getting punished. They have combos of their own. They'll knock you up in the air and everything. And as soon as you get slammed down like a damn ball, you think, well, golly, they beat me like I owe them money. Fucking hell. And all of that happens within about 10 to 20 seconds. You have to fight two of these guys at the same time. And within the same chapter, they're introduced, you fight them a total of 3 times. Plus one encounter through Alphinium, but you get the idea. They are here to remind you that they're angels that can fight back for once. The same goes for Ardor, Joy, Fearless, and Fairness, and Jean. All opponents and more that will swing back for once. They practically force you to get better by some margin. Hell, G&G were so tough that during playtesting of the beta, the developers had trouble going up against them themselves and tone down the aggressive nature they already have. Sounds like that must have been rough, but the designer still left some of that aspect in with the older brothers of the two through Gracious and Glorious. more health, more durability, more damage, and they're literally the only angels in the game where normal witch time does not work against them. And that's including every boss as well. These fiery and stormy numbnuts will make you question everything. So much so that they have a handful of posts of people asking how to beat them, reduce their hostile fighting style. They're annoying as Inferno and bullshit. And honestly, I had the same mindset from when I was playing my first time too. They're quite the difficulty spike in terms of enemies. But why I don't think it's complete garbage design is because you at least always have a fighting chance. You can certainly beat them, it's going to be hell, but doable. That's why if you don't want to get your ass beaten like a volleyball, practice against them in some sense. Once you do, you'll pick up on a lot of cues, like that sweep attacks really fuck them over, or that you're technically fighting against one of them when they're both out. So you're the one who should be aggressive against them, not the other way around. Their attacks are also pretty predictable, or if you take out Glory, the lightning one, first, Grace by himself is not too bad. The shotguns stop them from even performing any attacks at all. There are so many methods and tactics that were subtly put in to show how enemies fight and behave, and it's up to you to try and figure them out and use it all against them. So, if you're one of those people who always complain about these two and never made an effort by any means to better yourself, then you're purposely doing a disservice to yourself. The game is made this way to challenge you and to seek improvement.
You got to give of you. You gotta give of you. You gotta give of you if you are
Now let me also make this note and add that I'm not saying that Bayonetta pioneered this level of encouragement of playing a video game. It's definitely been done before. The whole mindset of get good definitely made its way through Dark Souls or anything similar, though apparently it started with Metal Gear of all things, okay? You know, Dark Souls, the series where it's notoriously known for being pretty damn difficult. The same where if you don't vigorously put in any amount of effort to get better, it's only going to be harder than what you really think. I'm not just saying that for myself through one person. I even asked my friends a question asking, out of the two options of having either what? Always having a chance and ability to get better through understanding the game or dealing with straight up bullshit. Most of them went with the former. Now, yes, of course, there can be a few moments that aren't perfect, and Bayonetta is also that way. Moments that come to mind are the quite random QuickTime events where it's life or death button presses, or dumb shit like this. That's fucking annoying. I can at least say that Kinship is the worst enemy in the game. Gracious and Glorious are easier to deal with than that missile launching Titanic waiting to be destroyed. Everything else has the ability to be conquered in some shape or form, and Bayonetta gives you the spirit that you can do so. Which is a shame that games like this don't get pushed more compared to something like Dark Souls or Bloodborne, where honestly and fundamentally, both genres are the same thing, just dodge and hit. But how games like Metal Gear Revengeance, Devil May Cry, Ninja Gaiden, and of course Bayonetta give you the absolute sensation of destroying your enemies is because that's what's actually happening. And something like Bloodborne, you're just hitting the same thing perpetually, and that's really it. And Bayonetta, for just one boss, you're in the middle of a tornado where both the massive Audicio Angel and Umbra Witch are throwing giant hands and attacks at each other, and when you finally beat him, in the cutscene afterwards, Bayonetta is still beating the shit out of him, completely disrespecting him. She literally ripped him apart, set his body to explode and on fire, and then sent him to hell. If you don't find that fucking awesome, I don't know what to tell you. I love Bayonetta, as you can clearly tell. It's a game you should absolutely play if you ever get the chance, and don't let the difficulty spikes deter you from playing and having a good time. When you fully put the time into the game, it becomes so much more than what you already see and think. Like, there is some insane shit you can really do if you master this game. Let that inspire you to play more. Seeing stuff like this is what always drives me to play more, and why I have no problem saying that Bayonetta is one of my favorite games of all time. Play it, or anything similar. Like, right now, I'm going through the Devil May Cry games, and that's quite a journey to also try and master each game, and to truly understand how to play and master it and everything of the sort. So yeah, that's the Bayonetta video. Now my friend can stop nagging me to do it. You're welcome, Nick. Hope you enjoyed the video and hope my message of encouragement of skill and prowess to get better is, you know, what got to some of you, or at least one person. Quite frankly, a better way of naming this video is Guy realizes that combat exists in a video game and explains the mechanics of it on a fundamental level. But the title is what it is, so yeah, that's what Bayonetta is. It encourages you to get better, it tells you to get good, and if you don't, well, it's only going to be more painful, and the only person's fault on that is you if you don't even try by any means. Like, if I can figure this shit out and make the video this long explaining why it's good this way and a decent challenge, then anyone can do it. Like, seriously, like, I'm really stupid in a lot of things, so yeah. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. You know what to do with all the links that I provide and everything of the sort. Thank you for watching. That's greatly appreciated, of course. Have a great day, have a great night, and everything else, you know what to do. Bye.